So it's time I keep a promise that I had made a while back. After having finished my playthrough of Ape Escape 3, I decided that I should do some videos of my top 10 favorite levels from each of the games. So we're going to be talking about the first Ape Escape game. Now, while the gadgets are a fun way to catch apes, it really is the levels that you're chasing them around in that I find to be a lot more entertaining and interesting. To be honest, I didn't think I would have 10 levels to talk a bit about in this game, as it's my least favorite entry in the series. Keep in mind, this is just my list of which levels I like most from this game. But without further ado, let's get this started. Again, since this isn't my favorite game in the series, these entries are going to be a bit short. We begin things with a very small level, Primordial Ooze. Why exactly this is on my list is simple. Atmosphere. Despite how short and tiny the level's layout is, I love the cloudy sky with the constant rain and a plesiosaur swimming around in the lake. I know my reason for liking this level is odd, but most of the levels in the game lack this kind of atmosphere that is calming and mysterious thanks to the rain, which I love. There really isn't much more to say about this level, except for, the plesiosaur doesn't seem to hurt you, and it's neat that it's here, I just wish it was used for something. For the most part, I'm not a huge fan of the later levels because I find the way the future aesthetic was done to be mostly boring, but City Park is rather nice. My preferred section of the level is, well, the outdoor park. Even though it's quite small, there are some neat things here, like a robot fight and this playground thing. The only part of the level I really hate is this section here, with the falling barrels. I don't find the sewer-esque areas that interesting by default, but this spot sucks mostly because jumping onto these barrels is more annoying than it really should be. So yeah, this is a very okay level. Crabby Beach is such a charming little level. Sure, I wish the beach was bigger, but at least you can climb some trees, destroy sandcastles, and swim around a small coral reef area. I have a bit of a bias towards beach levels, I really like them, so I was happy to see this in the game when I first played it. However, since this is an early level, it isn't very big, and unfortunately, the beach section of the level doesn't have much platforming or very many unique mechanics here. I still enjoy swimming around with the Nautilus. They're very cute, and it's a nice touch. Speaking of early levels, we have Molten Lava. The biggest reason this level is so high on my list is because of all the creatures you get to encounter. Having a prehistoric based level is a fun idea, and I like seeing this in other platformers. And to me, this game has one of the best levels based on that theme I've ever played. Messing around with a pterosaur nest and fighting off an ape riding a triceratops are some great highlights. The coolest part of this level though is the area with the Tyrannosaurus, who looks neat himself, but the volcanic surroundings with the constant lightning and the background makes it so intimidating. Also, the music here is really good as well. This is by far one of the best experiences in the game for me, and it's extremely memorable, and I always think of this part whenever I think of the prehistoric levels in this game. Wabi Sabi Wall is one of the best levels in the first Ape Escape, to me anyway. This level seems to be inspired off of the Great Wall of China, and this opens itself up to some entertaining platforming challenges that progressively get more challenging as the level continues. The wall is mostly broken up into different sections, and in each section there are areas to jump around on off of the wall to catch some stray apes. There are even some places where you can skip some of the wall sections altogether with good platforming skills. Sure, jumping around this game can be a bit stiff, but if you have your propeller gadget on hand to help save you from bottomless pits, then you should be pretty good. Overall, this is a fun level that offers a fair bit of challenge. Another theme I tend to love are snow levels. The downside to the first Ape Escape is that I find two of its snow levels to be either lacking or annoying. Thankfully, Frosty Retreat is the only one I really like. Okay, sure, those explosive spitter guys can be a bit frustrating at times, but the mountaintop icy caves are really entertaining to explore. I'm a huge fan of the colors in this level, with the uses of whites, blues, purples, and greens. In addition to that, I like how the start of the level shows just how high up you are. There is even a water section that isn't too bad with all these jellies that are easy to dodge. The platforming isn't too difficult here, and it does offer up a decent amount of variety, landing it as definitely my favorite of the snow levels in the first Ape Escape. Much like with Molten Lava, one of the biggest reasons I like Coral Cave is because of the animals you encounter here. Look, I really love aquatic animals, so seeing two different types of sharks right off the bat is awesome, even if they can be a bit aggressive, but they're not too bad. Unlike Molten Lava, there is much more platforming and areas to explore here though. Like a cave section with the submarine, and this somewhat cool concept with the water running across a platform, and these ruins to navigate. I like this small caved off section where you can climb some vines if you want to try to navigate your way up in a bit more challenging but still fun way. This is just one of the first levels I remember whenever I think about this game, mostly because of the sharks. I think they're just really neat and I love them. Despite its placement in the game's progression, Thick Jungle is one of the bigger levels with a fair amount of branching paths throughout Ape Escape. There are a few things of interest here, like enemy plants and these large pitcher plants hanging from these wide trees. There are these bee enemies, but they aren't very obnoxious, just hard to hit. I never found them to be that bad though. The skyboxes with the dark trees create a great atmosphere. We have a river that leads to a lackluster rowboat section that at least has this neat catfish in it. Yeah, the rowboat isn't very fun to use, but navigating around the level is very entertaining thanks to all these different sections to check out. You have apes in trees and this boss fight tree, and even in UFOs of all things. In the end, this is a fantastic level that rewards exploration in a cool jungle. Dexter's Island. It's an amazing level. Okay, so I have no idea who Dexter even is. Is he the dinosaur here? Well, regardless, this is one of the most memorable levels in the game to me. While it might not seem obvious what you're supposed to do, at the start of the level, you're supposed to hit the dino and enter his mouth. And here is where the level really takes place. Yes, this is a level where you navigate around inside a large creature, and I love it. There's some odd things like a boat and these bizarre dangling organs, but you also have blobs to fight off, balls to dodge, and just some interesting platforming sections, mostly because you're inside of a creature, changing the context. I think the reason I love this level is because it's so different compared to all the other levels in the game, and not just the game, but the entire Ape Escape series. It's a fun, neat concept that while not taken to its most extreme, it still managed to stand out, and I think it's one of the best just because of how unique it is. And here we are, my favorite Ape Escape level is Cryptic Ruins. First off, that skybox in the outside area is fantastic. I love the full moon in the night sky. The greater aspect of Cryptic Ruins is how well the level loops in on itself, with many of the platforming challenges and slight puzzles leading in and out of the central ruin. For whatever reason, I really like running around in the ruins, checking out the different sections, activating and crossing the bridges outside, and finding some unique and unintended ways to reach other sections, via some platforming. And lastly, I love the music used here. Well, there you go. Next time I'll be talking about Ape Escape 2, so I'll see you all then. This last little bit here is unscripted. I hope you enjoyed this video enough. I know it was a bit repetitive and wasn't very detailed, and I apologize for that. I tried to write the script with the least amount of repetition, and I failed. But the only reason, again, why this was so short and less detailed was because I don't have the biggest opinions on these levels, as I don't play this game as often. However, I am still curious for those of you who do play the Ape Escape games a lot, in particular the first Ape Escape, which levels you guys tend to think stand out the most? Anywho, before the Ape Escape 2 levels video comes out, I'll be probably working on a mashup video of Monster Hunter to get that out, because I might be focusing more on Monster Hunter content on this channel. Although that doesn't mean it'll be a weekly thing or even guaranteed a bi-weekly thing, because I still just do this channel from time to time on the side. Thanks again for watching, and hopefully you all have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time.